Hey folks, hopefully y'all tuned in to the first part of our Mammoth off-road adventure that was on last week. If not, go check that out. And if you have, here comes part 2. All right, viewers, we're on another day of riding. We're going up to Mono Lake. For this, I'm actually following a side-by-side. Hopefully not too close. I'm not used to being in the dust, as you know. We've got my wife, of course, Tam behind me, and then behind her is another 2 or 3 side-by-side vehicles. Should be a good ride. Looking forward to it. Viewers, we couldn't have asked for a better looking day. It is clear blue skies as far as y'all can see. So viewers, as you can imagine, you know, not all of this ride, probably huge chunks of these rides, won't be in regular main videos. It's a big camping trip. We're celebrating several things. We've got a very good friend of mine. His son is graduated high school a little while back, and he is going into the Coast Guard, so this is his going away party. Also, the same friend, his girlfriend, it's her birthday this weekend. In addition to that, he has asked her to marry him, so now they are officially engaged, betrothed, all those things. So many things to celebrate this weekend, so there's just going to be a lot of different kind of footage. But for the riding footage, where we're just riding through the forest, if you will, you know, look for Trails of the Mojave. That's our other series where it's just pretty much unedited, unaltered, very usually good quality video of just riding trails. The only edits I make to those, of course, are if we stop. Nobody wants to see that. But yeah, I don't speed it up. I don't slow it down. I chop it up into roughly 45-minute or so chunks and put them out. So I do my best to put some good, decent music to it. If you don't like the music, turn the music off, put it in the background. But yep, the Trails of the Mojave series, there's a whole playlist for that. We're up to about 21 videos in that series now. After this weekend, who knows? Anyway, I guess back to riding. I'm following this lovely Can-Am, which is fantastic. And there's actually, behind my wife, there's actually 3 side-by-sides. There's another Can-Am and a couple of Razors back there. So, good little group going out riding. I got to clean off the dust off of some cameras, as you know, because I'm not used to riding in dust. I don't know what it's like. Ask my wife what it's like to ride in dust. Anyway, on we keep on trucking. We're not in trucks, riding, that's what we're doing. And this fella in this Can-Am, his name is Andre, and he's kind of like me. He's leading the group, But anytime there's a turn, a junction, or anything in the road, he stops and makes sure everybody is there and that nobody misses the turn. Very nice. That's exactly how I lead when we're riding. We don't want anybody getting lost or separated from the group. Some of you have probably noticed by now, or maybe you haven't noticed, the last couple of videos riding, I've got this vest on here from MSR, that's Malcolm Smith Racing. They have these on the Rocky Mountain ATV mcsquared.com website. I got it on sale, it was like 40% off. And you know, I always would have a water pack on my back, but you know, those can cut into your shoulders, and I found this. This has a 2-liter water pack in the back. The hose has this neat magnetic clip here. That's kind of cool, and you can put it on either side, of course. I also have, it comes with a toolkit bag, no tools included, just a bag that straps into the back. I'm not using that, but what I did is I fit a first aid kit, a pretty comprehensive first aid kit with shears, bandages, tourniquet, all those things are in there. Multiple pockets everywhere, a lot of water resistant zippers, yep. And then these front pockets are perfect storage for any self-defense devices that you may need to carry on your person, if you get my drift there. And what's nice about it is very broad shoulders. It adjusts, you know, I'm kind of a big fella, and it adjusts really nice and it fits really well. The weight of the stuff in the front versus the weight in the back, it balances real nice. It's very comfortable, and it doesn't get hot like you would think. I also used it when we were hiking out at Joshua Tree National Park. Very comfortable. To add to all that, no, not sponsored. No, I didn't get it for free. I did pay for the price that it was on the website, on the web store there. But just thought I'd talk you through about it, because it's something I've just recently started using and I really, really like it. I'm not used to eating dust, my friends. Yuck. Viewers, I know I've not had a lot to say. I'll be honest, I'm just kind of taking it in. Been doing a spirited ride, you know, we're moving along pretty good. And I'm just taking in, I mean, riding through the forest is not something I'm used to doing. Cool air, clean air, fresh air, smells amazing up here. Just taking it all in. I said this a lot during the road trip videos. I don't have a lot of words. I don't. Although I still manage to find ways of talking y'all's ears off, but you know, God, this is just a blast. Blasted through the forest like this. Oh my God, that was a blast right there.
Like that?
Oh, that was so much fun.
That was fun.
Well, we've come to a stop at a place to see a thing. It's Mono Mills Historic Site. Let me tell you, that right there, that was a fun ride so far, and I hear that there's even more funness to be had on the ride, but there's some stuff here to see. Mono Mills. There's a lot of words there to meet the ever-increasing demand for lumber and cordwood, all the things. If you want to read all that, you can pause it. I'll do that later myself. There's this cool thing over here that's got some information. Welcome to the Mono Basin and the historic site of Mono Mills. Like I said, this ride we're going to Mono Lake. There's a lot of good historical things apparently in here. Yep. The railroad and the 4 engines connecting 32-mile narrow gauge 3-foot railway connecting Bodie to the Jeffrey Pine Forest and allowed transportation of lumber that Bodie needed in order to increase its size. 4 steam engines were brought in for this operation. And then you can read the rest if you want to, but that's really interesting. Fire, yeah, you know, this is an area that's prone to all the fires. And this is the mill site. I'm guessing there's some information here about that. Looking north, area below the kiosk. What's the side of the sawmill? And there you can see what's left of that sawmill. That is also pretty neat. The community of Mono Mills. And then, of course, looking out in the distance, you can see Mono Lake, and that's where we're headed currently. You know, when we get back on the machines and keep going. See if I can zoom out to the distance. There we go. Pretty fantastic. We just stopped here, a little pit stop, potty break, get a drink, and we're gonna probably load up soon and get back on the trails. Well, viewers, that was a really cool little stop right there, Mono Mills Historic Site. Pretty awesome. And now we're headed straight down to Mono Lake. If we had time or a different trip, you know, on the other side or backside of Mono Lake is Bodie, the ghost town of Bodie. That might be an adventure for another trip. Wow. It's the first time I've actually seen mountains, like actually seen them the whole time. That's incredible. I'll tell you, Mono Lake is a lot bigger than I had in my head. Wonder what that's for. Maybe for wildlife. A bug hit me on my nose. I did not care for that. This is crazy, this area. I don't know, it's a bit surreal with all of these bushes that are all fire damaged. I don't know, it's weird. It's like we're in some kind of a fantasy dark movie or something. Just talking nonsense as usual. Well, folks, we have made it up to Mono Lake, down to Mono Lake, whichever way you want to see it, up or down. I don't know. We're going to walk down this little trail and, go see the water. We're going to have some lunch, too, while we're here. It says trail. Sort of. Okay. Well, this lake is quite salty, and I'll be honest, it's a little stinky, but it is very pretty. Enjoying hearing the water, seeing all the birds and ducks and whatever other kind of things are out here. So I don't really know much about Mono Lake, its history, or anything like that. I'll do some research later. But it's pretty neat. It was an excellent ride down here from our camp, which is up by Owens River Road. But now I'm gonna walk band. Again, English language fails me, escapes me. I'm gonna walk back up to the ATVs and side-by-sides and what have you up here, and we're gonna have some lunch. A little bit hungry. What did we get for lunch here? Some Sammys?
Mm-hmm.
Sandwiches? Some grapeses?
Mm-hmm. My grapes are like
Yum,
mush.
yum, yum. Well, viewers, we are now leaving Mono Lake behind us. We're going to make our way back to camp, but not directly the way that we got here. We're actually planning on going by June Lake, because apparently there are trails that we can ride on that take us to June Lake. So we're going to go do that and see what that looks like. I've heard it is beautiful. We'll see if we make it there. I'm sure we will. We've only done about 25 miles, and we have plenty of range left, plenty of day left. It's only 1:45 p.m. Here we go. Had to check on the wife there. That was a little, not hairy, just a little bit of an awkward series of ruts coming up that hill, but I've said it many times and I'll keep on saying it. She's a pro. Well, I wonder what this was. Very interesting. Well, we have officially made it down to June Lake. I'll tell you, it was a bit weird riding down here. You know, California, they don't like to let you do nothing, but apparently the trails we were on are more or less meant for or okay to do that. Anyway, June Lake. I'll tell you, it is purty, this here June Lake. It is purty.
That water's pretty.
Well, viewers, we have been to Mono Lake, and now we have been to June Lake. That is fantastic. And I do suspect we're going back to camp. Listen, I went and walked out in the water, got my feet wet, my hat wet. So I'm nice and cooled off now. That was lovely. Anyway, we're gonna find our way out of this little spot and keep on a ride. Lots of people out here barbecuing. It smells yummy. Yum, yum, yum. Even that, Massimo, two-wheel drive, high range. Of course, it would have been easy and low range four-wheel drive, but not necessary. Well, now that's a view. That is definitely a view. Well, good morning, friends. It is officially Labor Day and packing up day from our weekend up here in the Mammoth area. I didn't really do much of anything yesterday. We had a long ride on whatever day that would have been. I guess that would have been Saturday, where we went down, well, you might have seen it already, down to Mono Lake and June Lake and all around. You know, that was almost a 6-hour ride, so we decided to take yesterday, went down to town, filled the truck up with the diesel, and had some lunch, just pretty much relaxed all day. So not much going on yesterday, but today it's packing up time. We've got a lot, to pack up there and there. And then get on the road, head back home. It's about a 5 or so hour drive to get back home. But I want to say thank you all for hanging out with us over the weekend. I really appreciate it. I guess that'll do it. I guess in the meantime, we'll see you later. Y'all ride safe. Bye-bye now.